All right. What's going on? Welcome everybody back to another episode of the Coffee Q&A. Your Q&A here on the OnoCoffee channel. I'm your host, and we do this live stream most Monday through Fridays, 10 a.m. Eastern. So how's it going? What's going on? So today, I thought we'd talk a little bit about a sweet potato. Right? There's a sweet potato. This is a Japanese style sweet potato that is, I guess, from Japan at some point. Mako, good morning to you. How are you doing? And here's the thing. So the Japanese sweet potatoes can be really nice and starchy and creamy and just beautifully light and sweet and delicious. And here's a secret that I like to use when I'm making these. I will take the potato and stick them in the freezer overnight, at least overnight. So actually, I leave a whole bunch of them in the freezer. And what the freezing does, I'm not sure exactly what it does because, it's a tuber, so it's starchy, and I think that it's similar, although I don't have anything really to bear this on, but I think it's similar to, like, let's say if you put tomatoes or hardcore bear green beans into the freezer and you freeze it, like if you put it in your freezer and freeze it. And what I mean, but what I'm saying that specifically is that when you put stuff in your freezer and you freeze it that way, it's a slow freeze, like it slowly freezes. And what happens is that, like if you ever took green beans and you put them in a freezer, and you froze them, and then you ate them later. Man, they're terrible. They're mealy, they're disgusting. Tomatoes, mealy, terrible, it's horrible, right? But you can go out and buy frozen like green beans, and they're great, or they're fine at least. Maybe not great, but they're fine. Why that is because they do flash freezing, whereas it's very difficult for you to do flash freezing in your home environment because, or even in a standard commercial environment, you kind of need to have these very serious, very big, and very expensive blast chillers that will, reduce the temperature of the product really, really fast. So there's always a slow process when you're doing it at home, and that slow process slowly freezes from the outside in. And what happens is that the cell structures actually, the water in the cells expand and break. And that's what causes that mealy texture. And I think that's what happens when you take the sweet potato and you put it in your freezer and you leave it there overnight. Kent, good morning. Dev, good morning to you. Peter, evening. Aloha to you, Keone. And so by doing this with the Japanese sweet potato, and I've actually only done this with the Japanese, I've not tried it with other things like regular American style sweet potatoes or purple yams or things like that. But I presume that it's going to be relatively similar. What happens is that freezing, that structural breakdown makes it even more creamy. So when you actually roast it, it's delicious. It's even more delicious than it has been. Now, this kind of thing is very popular in Japan. Like if you go to the 7-Eleven, you go to the konbinis, you go just around town, people are selling roasted sweet potato. You just buy it and you eat it. You don't eat it on the street. You just eat it there or at home or whatever. People don't really walk around in Japan eating on the street. That's kind of that's kind of faux pas in their society. But basically, if you want to make it yourself, you just take the potato, you toss it in your oven, you roast it at 450 degrees for like 40 to 45, maybe to an hour until it's nice and soft, and then you're done. Now, this particular one, I did not do that to because I was like, I woke up and I was like, I don't have the hour to make this. So let me go and microwave it. So you can microwave these for 10 minutes on high. And it doesn't do the same. It cooks it through. It heats it through, which is what you're doing when you're roasting. But it doesn't give you that same roasted character, right? It's better roasted. It really is better. Or if you want to put it like over coals and let that roast, that's even better. So Power Plant says you need the dry heat. You do need the dry heat, absolutely. So what we're going to do today is we're going to use this sweet potato because I was thinking, what if we made a sweet potato like espresso drink, like a sweet potato cappuccino? Like, what would that be like? Could that be something good? And this is the kind of thing where if you're thinking about, like, and this is kind of how we do recipe development. It just starts with an idea, like, ooh, I wonder if that would work. Maybe let's try it. Now, personally speaking, like, there's ways to do this that you could like just go out and buy. I'm sure somebody somewhere makes an artificial flavor like that's Japanese sweet potato that I could use and make a syrup and then add that to a latte. That's one way to do it. But I like to use as much of the real ingredient as we possibly can. So I was thinking, oh, why don't we, let's just see what we do. And so this is kind of how our recipe development starts. Just by taking like the idea, this sweet potato, and I am squeezing it because I'm trying to make it a little bit more broken down on the inside, all like if you've ever eaten this, like you kind of, I think you understand what I'm saying. When it's nice and creamy, and you can like spoon it out or just squeeze it out of the skin. You're just like, oh, so delicious, so delicious. Naomi, how are you, man? Good to see you. Marco says, growing up, the sweet potatoes I had were always yellow greenish. It was a surprise to learn that in the U.S. most people knew sweet potatoes to be. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. I've not played around too much with American style sweet potatoes, the orange ones. Most of the time, I run across those people that want to make them into sweet potato fries, which I'm not a big fan of. Like, I like savory French fries. I'm not a big fan of sweet. I don't necessarily. I won't necessarily turn them down, but I won't necessarily be too enthusiastic about it. I want to have a lot of salt, sweet and salt. Anyway, but let's look here at our potato. We're gonna tear into it. This you could slice it, but you could just tear into it like this, and see, very nice like that. We just squeeze a little bit out like this, and you can see there. You could add butter. You don't need to. And like I said, the things we just kind of, if you have it out, you just kind of. All right, that's good. That's good. So the idea now is to take some of this. And the basic format that I like to work in is cappuccino size. I just like the size, right? I like the size. How will it be? So let's go. Let me turn this on. Let's go and see about making this into a cappuccino. Now it says Okinawan or Hawaiian sweet potato is my favorite sweet potato as a snack. Cream-colored skin, purple interior, tastes like vanilla. Oh, I didn't know that in Okinawa it was also like that purple style. Interesting. All right, so let's go over to the espresso machine and see what we can see today. So we've got our espresso machine all ready to go. Our espresso 99. And as is our typical practice here, I haven't touched the machine since the last time we used it, which was it last week? Maybe it was last week. Okay, so everything's been cleaned out since last week, so we're going to grind a little bit. Make sure that our portafilter basket is nice and clean. Should we be tearing this thing? Okay, let's just do some basic housekeeping just to see where we are. Like last time I kept telling you my style is like 21 grams, but we've been getting good results, or pretty good results with 23 grams. Power says Murasaki, in my opinion. Oh, I have not tried. I don't know if I've tried that or not. Computer says there's white sweet potatoes too, but purple is the best. Oh, nice. All right. Q&A says donkey here. That's awesome, roasted sweet potato. Don't know if there are any in the continental U.S., but there is one in Hawaii. I've been to the one in Kapiolani. Yeah, the one in Kapiolani, the donkey there, which used to be the old. What was it called years ago? It was basically, it's the same. It's kind of the same store that it used to be, but with the name Don Quixote. I don't recall. I can't recall the name. You know the one right there by the Pan Am building, or is it still called the Pan Am building? Maybe I'm old. Now it says sometimes Murasaki. Is it Murasaki Imo or in my opinion? Well, maybe it must be Imo. Murasaki Imo is purple outside and purple inside, and it's not sweet to me. No, like, okay. So it's not sweet. Power plant says Don Quixote. Yes, Donkey. Yeah. If Keone's playing on the whole, if you ever walk into a Don Quixote store, and if you're not familiar with Don Quixote is a store. in Japan that's really, I guess, geared towards tourists, and they've got all kinds of crazy stuff. I like to go there because they have a lot of cheap stuff that's available for you. It's open pretty much 24 hours, and you can buy big suitcases for $80, and that's usually what I do. I get the big hard suitcase. Like every few years, I'll have to do this because I'll buy the hard suitcase and I'll travel with it everywhere, and it'll break at some point and get damaged, and then I'll buy another one, and then. But typically, I'll fly to Japan, maybe with just one, my regular bag, and then I'll buy one at Don Quixote because it's like, oh, I need to buy more stuff here and then bring it with me. It used to be a lot of cereal, but since we started being able to get the cereal here in America, it's like, okay, I don't need to buy cereal anymore. I can buy like toothpaste and maybe whiskey or something like that. But Don Quixote, right? You walk in the store and they've got this like jingle, this really catchy like earbug jingle, and it's how does it go? It goes. Now that I'm about to tell, I had it in mind a moment ago, but it's basically donkey, dun 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 dun. It's very, very, very catchy, super catchy. And so if you've ever gone there, you're like, oh, Holiday Mart. Thank you, Kiona. Thank you. Holiday Mart. Holiday Mart. Oh my gosh. Devin says, this is fake news. White flesh sweet potato is the best. My gosh, let's not fight here. Let's not fight now. We're all friends. We're all friends, right? We're not proud potatoes. Let's not go there. Hannah sweet potatoes, and it says, is white, and it's pretty good. It doesn't beat vanilla cake flavor. Vanilla cake. Oh, do these you think have vanilla cake flavor? Is that what you're saying? I can see that. Peter says that Devin, the purple is more expensive. Kenny said they actually changed the name, at least in Hawaii, Guam, and Thailand, to Don Don Donki. Oh, it's actually called Don Don Donki. Oh, interesting. That's interesting. I guess if you call it Don Quixote in America, people are like, what? What is that? Isn't that guy that guy sings about in Man of La Mancha? Okay, so let's go back here to our... We've got our scale tiered. We already ground some coffee. Is that enough? I don't know. Let's grind it. We just want to check and see how our, so it's fairly even like drop down this time. So we don't really have to do too much. I'm just kind of moving around a little bit just to kind of center it so that when it comes time to temp, we should be all right. Make sure all the wings are clean. Very nice tamping surface. As you can see, we didn't use the C plus tamper this time. I used the old school original Reg Barber. So just the old school flat instead of the C plus tamper. Let's go back here and see, what are we talking about? 23 grams. Okay, 23 grams. That works. Now let's flush. I always like to hold up the cup just in case, because I really don't like it when because it sometimes will shoot out the first one, and I don't like it falling down the side. Even though I just touched the side there, it's could have fallen down. Usually I put it down by this point. And so you just let it flow. Now we're looking for a little bit of the flutter, which I think we saw already. Yeah, we did see that flutter just a moment ago when I said that. And there's our shot. You can see a little bit of the blonding mixing in. Let's look over here. So let me zoom in a little bit more for you. Well, that's about all we can zoom. So we got a little bit of bubbles there. And let's also have a look here at our portafilter. We had 23 grams before. I'm going to put it on there wet. So 40 grams. So that's what, 18 grams? I don't know. My math is slow. Okay, so let's taste. Right off the top, a lot of cocoa powder characteristics. A little bit of dryness from that cocoa powder taste. that's that Brazil. It's really got this really lovely cocoa powder, like chalky kind of cocoa powder-esqueness to it. I have to pull that. So, like I said, I knocked out the puck, and I said that there was we had when I said that about the flutter, it just fluttered at that moment, which means we ran a little bit long. So if we ran a little bit long, we can see that there's a little bit of residual oils here, telling us again, yes, you did run too long. So these are just things that I like to use to just help guide me in understanding the shot and how it may have performed during that moment. Because, like I've said before, when you're actually doing this in a commercial setting, you don't really have the opportunity to taste the drink to know exactly how it's going to taste. Now, what we're going to do here now is we're going to see, we've got our espresso. We're going to have a little bit of this. We're going to just kind of mix them together to see what kind of effect it may have. And is it pleasant enough or positive? Are the results positive enough to warrant continued exploration? What about that? Weird, but interesting. I think it'll be tempered more if it's mixed with milk. Devin says it's all fun and games until we get to sweet. I know, gosh, people are gonna like all battle it out. I mean, Peter's right. Peter wants to wage a potato war now. Wish potato famine on other people that don't agree with his position on potatoes. It gets ugly. The last time we did this, it got very ugly. We don't want that to happen again. Nero says white skin, purple interior, aka Okinawan sweet potato tastes like that. Oh, white skin with purple. I have not seen that. That might be worth a trip to Okinawa. Peter says, I made a spud cannon once. Oh, I thought it was twice. Spud cannon once. Excellent. Devin says, I'm knocking at my sweet potatoes with cinnamon and butter. Oh, yeah, that is. Oh, for the lattes. So you've actually done this. You've actually put sweet potatoes in your latte. That's nice. I like that. Yeah, everyone's throwing up fighting words, Naomi. You gotta watch out. Better watch out to who you can't turn your back with these guys, you know. Peter says you need large PVC pipe and an aerosol can, lighter, and I can see Peter running across the Aussie like outback, just like shooting these like cannons at people. Oh, mate, coach. Okay, so how are we gonna do this? We're gonna take our pitcher. Our steam pitcher, and we're going to just do a really simple approach. We're going to take the pitcher. We're going to take some of our sweet potato here. I got a spoon, and then we're just going to scoop out a little bit. See, it's nice and soft, so it makes it easier and more. I think that's for 6 ounces of milk. You know, that's probably too much. So I'm going to add the milk to it. Should be good. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to incorporate. Now, will this work? I don't know. I'm just totally going by instinct now. So we're making a kind of flavored, starchy milk. And here's the thing. By doing this, I have no, maybe you've done this and you know exactly what's going to happen, but I've never done this. So I have no idea what's going to happen when I hit it with the steam one. Like, for example, I remember when we were making oat milk many, many years ago, like 10 years ago or so. We're making oat milk. We're taking like whole oats, soaking them in water, mixing them with a little bit of dates, blending them, and then squeezing them out. Or no, maybe we squeeze them out first and then blended the dates into it. And it created the delicious tasting oat milk. Like, delicious. It was delicious. I loved it. I really enjoyed it. And I said, okay, let's try it now as a cappuccino. And let's try it in a pitcher. Put in a pitcher. Hit with the steam one, and immediately we knew that we were never going to make oat milk, and we would never offer oat milk at Spro, ever. least in this format. Because, I really like the idea of making the product, right? Okay, so we got there's going to be some stringy material. I don't think we can get rid of that. But let's see, how does this taste? So we got a little bit of this. Do we have any flavor in there? It's a very light flavor. More suggestive than anything else. So we're going to cappuccino it. Peter says butter coffee is good. We should, I keep forgetting. We should make that one day. We're going to make that one day. We're going to make butter coffee one day. But let's go over here to our machine. Make sure it's nice and clean. So what we're going to do is we're going to just try to see if we can roll with it. I think the shot's fine. Okay, there we go. A little bit heavy on that one. So we're going to put some of this back. Go back to there. Okay, good. Right, now, let's just check it just to see how it went. 22. Now we're down a shot. Okay, so let's go into it. Now this one I never really hold because it's big enough, right? I don't have to worry about it falling down or anything. So we got the shot rolling. Now we're going to come in with some steering. Just got to watch them both. I think that's good. Huh? Not bad. Not bad. All right, let's go back over here. There's our shot. Looks fairly nice. A little bit of blonding right there. As always, we want to get rid of our bubbles. Check the sides. There's a little bit of spillage on the side. Take care of that before you pour. That way it makes it easier. Let's look at our milk. Want to be chunky? It might. It doesn't look like I stretched it enough, but let's see what happens. Oh, no, not enough stretching. This is more flat whitish. And as you can see, I didn't put enough milk. But it'll at least give us, see, this is a necromancer, latte art style, necromancer.